Hello beautiful, and welcome to another video where we are going to go through some new indie releases, and I am going to do different tutorials with these new releases. This is a format that I started on my channel a while ago because I was feeling there was so many new things on the indie market and there were so many things I wanted to talk about. So I started to do, I feel like it was like a year and a half ago. Was it 2 years ago? I don't even remember, but it was a while ago. I started doing several indie palettes, several looks, showcasing what's new in the indie community and also giving you some tutorials. So even if you don't own any of these palettes, this is not a shop with me kind of a video. This is me showcasing the new things. I'm going to show you a close of the palette. I'm going to show you swatches, and then we're going to go into a tutorial. But if you have something similar at home, or if you're just here to get inspired, just see this as 4 very colorful and intriguing tutorials where you can shop your stash and maybe recreate. I'm trying to talk about techniques and brushes and different things that I think about as well throughout this. So it's almost like a new YouTube and old YouTube are meeting to form this little tutorial multiple palette baby. And I've really been excited to see more videos like this on YouTube because I feel like this was a format that was needed now that we're in a space where there's so many new releases. Let me think. I've gotten all of these palettes in PR, and with some of these palettes, I do have an affiliate code. I will put some info down in the description box. You can always try out Angelica checkout with indie brands. A lot of the places those work, and you can get some money off when you are shopping. So we're going to be talking about the 2 new palettes from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is Shadowed Petal, and then it is the Murky Meadows, which is the yellow and brown one. You know, I love those. And then on the 3rd look, we are doing the new one from GlossGods. This is the Dancing Lights one. I know you really love this look because I had it in a new makeup releases. And then the last look is actually what I have on my eyes and on my cheeks, which is the new Mermaid collection by Gourmande Girls. So we're gonna do the palette that is a face palette. I am wearing 2 of the blushes and 2 of the highlighters on my cheek. Look at that. It looks so beautiful. And then the palette to do this very cool, but a little bit more grounded look. I'm showing you like, how can you do something really colorful, but still grounded a bit with a neutral to just make it a little bit more approachable. So I hope you enjoy these videos. Please let me know what you think down below, and let's jump in to the looks. First look in this video is gonna be with Murky Meadows, which is this, you know, this is my jam. This is by Unearthly Cosmetics, and I am so excited. These, they make me so excited. So we are gonna be playing with this, and honestly, I don't even know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I think we're gonna keep it like murky. I think we're gonna play with these 2, or maybe this one. I'm thinking like these more like browny, yellowy, mustardy shade. And then we're going to accent with the bright yellow and one of the shimmers. I have no idea. Oh, should I do a matte look? I feel like I'm that meme where it's like, should I? I'm going to start with Twisted Roots. Ooh, hitting my... What's that? What's that? We don't talk about Bruno, okay? But it's the one in the middle. It's the one in the corner. Send help. Send help. And I am going to be using that in the outer part of the crease, but I'm not going to put it in the outer corner because I do want to get the dark brown there. But I'm gonna do the mustardy brown over here, and then I'm gonna do the mustard lighter color, the one that's called Murky Meadow. This one, I'm gonna do that in the inner part. I don't know. I love this color story. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something for me. I'm gonna do something that I know for a fact that I am gonna enjoy. and it's gonna make me really happy. I'm actually filming this on a Friday afternoon, and I'm just like, if this Ooh, hello. If this turns out really cute, I'll just be, that's what I do sometimes. I'll send a selfie to my husband and I'm like, make plans, I'm cute. Do you do that? Or is it just me? It could be just me. I've also been listening to a book. I'm listening to this, The Belladonna. If you're watching my book channel, you know that I have a TBR list of books I'm gonna read, and Belladonna was available on Spotify to listen to. So I have been listening to that, and so far I'm loving the premise of the book. It's so nice. I mean, this is one of those colors that will be a really good one and done matte look, because it is, for my skin tone, it is yellow enough so it's easy for me to blend out, so I could sheer this out and I wouldn't need a transition color, but it's also dark enough so it would like create a little bit of a smoky look on my lid. Okay, now that we are like this, which I love it, but we are gonna do Murky Meadow, which is just a smidgen more mustard, and we are gonna put that in the inner part. I'm gonna do a little bit of that on the, like on the edge as well. Like I don't need it, but I'm gonna do it because I love these kind of colors, and mustards make me really happy. I'm gonna do a little bit of this on my lower lashes too, if I could find, do I have anything that's like even remotely clean? I'll use a little, this is a cinch pencil brush, and I'm doing the Murky Meadow, which is the color we put here, and I'm doing that on the lower lash line. Oh, I love colors like that. How many times? Don't take a shot every time I say that. You will be blackout drunk, okay? So now on a small EO5, we're gonna do Omnious Dusk, which is the dark brown, and I am gonna be working on that one. And you see the part I saved here in the outer corner? We are gonna be working on that color there, and then we're gonna be slowly, with a very like precision, we are gonna blend that into the mustard crease. But the reason why we're using a small brush is, first of all, smaller brushes create precise movement, like precise things, so you don't end up doing too much. But also, if you're working with something that's either dark or something that has a color that's maybe not your undertone, like a blue, it's much easier to work with a smaller brush because it will help you to not get it to be patchy. So if you're working with the dark color, I would say the darker the color, the smaller the brush. And that's why we're doing this small brush for this dark brown. And you can see I just put it in that little thing that I saved, and now I'm moving my hand, and we are with small motions, we are blending it in. Nothing big, to the mustard. That is what dreamy looks are made of. Ugh. Before I go into the matte shadow, I am gonna use, this one is a Nabla Cupid's Arrow. I love these. This one is in 2. It is just a dark brown, and I'm gonna do that on half my waterline. It's kind of turned into 2/3, but I want to do, this is not the correct one. I lifted the wrong one. Hold. This is actually not correct either. I think this one, though, probably could be good. So I have 2 different ones here. One that is from Glossier, which is the one I was gonna use, but the other one from Melt probably would have worked too. Because this is like a mustard, and it is called Ochre. The other one I lifted out was from Melt. I think this is in Baked. And it is also a little bit of a yellow. I love this one from Glossier. If you're looking for a mustard eyeliner, this one from Glossier, quite honestly, is really, really good. And I always reach for it when I'm doing more like warm looks like this, like more that has mustards in them, and I always travel with it. So this one is called Haunted Hollow, this yellowy one, and I think we are just gonna, on an EO1, I might regret this. Okay, we learn from our mistakes. We tap off. Oh, I don't know if I'm cool enough for a look like this. I'm gonna get arrested. She's not cool enough for this look. Officer. I'm not trying to be too precise with this look, but I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of a precise-ish line with the dark brown. I think that will suit this look if I could be a little bit more precise. I don't know, I'm just trying out new things. I'm just out here trying out new things, and I think that that looks really cool. Let me see. I'm gonna do a little bit of mascara. Did I just spill something? I don't know. I'm gonna do a little bit mascara, and I'm gonna do a half lash, and we'll see if I like this or if I want to add a shimmer. I kind of think I don't want to. I love an all matte look. Let me live. I just really like a yellow and brown eye look, and I really like the pop of the very vibrant yellow matte as well. I almost wish there was a shimmer in here that was a light yellow, because we have a bronze, a gold, and almost like reddish. This is like a duochrome. It has like one of those, like, you see green. You see the green here, and then going to the, like, a little bit of almost like a red, and it's the same with this one. It's like a bronze. You can see, yeah, it's like green to a bronze or a red, and then we have this one that is like a pink almost to a yellow, and I kind of wish there was like a really light, bright yellow. Metallic. I would have really enjoyed that, but I still really like this look. And I think for me, the highlights of this is definitely those mustard mattes. I feel like those always, if you have a golden undertone, those are going to be your bread and butter. Like, it's just the perfect crease color. So I really do enjoy this look. I think the palette is beautiful, and it is if nothing else, an unexpected take on a like brown and yellow palette, which is something that I really love. So I'm gonna do a second look, and the second look is actually, I have it here, it's the second palette that Unearthly came up with, and this is the Shadow Petal. So we're gonna do a look with that one, but I am gonna be wearing this look for the rest of the day. Something really contrasty. I almost want to do like I want to cut the crease and then do like a smoky liner, because we have a white matte here, and when I swatched this one, it's called Twilight Rose. It is a very, almost like a little thicker, high intensity, very like metallic and opaque baby pink, frosty baby pink. So I kind of want to play with these two together with the very darkness of these. I'm gonna start with this one that's called Velvet Bloom, and I'm actually gonna be using an EO7. You can see that this is, oh, here we go. It's very thin and very detailed. So I am gonna be doing that one, and I want to be, you see, I have a fold here, and I want to be above that. So we are going to do a line. I'm feeling 2016 Angie. She's coming out to play, and she is ready. So I'm starting like that. And then over here, I'm gonna do, like I said, a little bit of a smoky liner. So I'm just sketching out a little bit where I want stuff to be. So maybe something like that. These looks, they are a little bit more dramatic, they are a little bit more like constructed. They always end up messy. Oh my god, it's a trust the process kind of a look. So I'm starting out with just mapping out where do I want the things to be, and I want the liner to be here, going in like that. And then I'm just gonna do a line like that. Okay, again, trust the process. It will get worse before it gets better. I'm sorry to say. Now we're going to the E11, which is the pencil brush. Again, this is a very small and detailed pencil brush. And we're gonna do Serene Whisper. And we are gonna start blending with this one on the edge. Because like I said, I want this to be a smoky liner. And we definitely need to blend here. And this one, I'm only gonna blend on the upper part. So we're blending upwards, but we're gonna keep a crisp line at the bottom part. But even if we accidentally get something underneath, it's not that deep because we are going to be using that very, very opaque shimmer. So I don't think there's going to be a problem actually. So I'm just going to reapply and blend until I get this to be, well, as pigmented as I am looking for. But I feel like we're getting closer here. So I'm going to be using the pastel metallic now that I talked about. It's like a baby pink metallic. And I'm going to spray it so that we can get a really like a sharp line up here. And then I'm just going to disperse it over here. And I'll go over again because I want, let me get it, spritz. Because I want the crispness up here, but then I want to diffuse it down here. And then we'll use some of the white, the white matte. We'll use that in the inner corner. You can see I'm just painting this on. So I'm just gonna follow the line. And then we're putting it down here too. And same here. This is gonna be a sharp line. And down here, I'm just gonna pat it a little bit. I think this will be so cool. So I was using the E07 before, but something that's even more detailed, of course, is the liner brush, which is the E12. And I'm gonna use that. And I'm gonna use the same Velvet Bloom to just intensify this line. And make it crisp and detailed. I mean, the look is very dramatic, and I always think, I feel like Black Swan. I feel like it's a really, really cool look. I'm gonna do a matte white on E01, and I am gonna be using that in the inner corner and a little bit here in the inner part. I'm just carrying it down just a little bit here. I think that's really cool. And I'm gonna do a little bit of lashes, a little bit of mascara. I think I'm gonna do some of that like purple in my waterline too. I'm thinking maybe that my favorite, the one from Colourpop that I keep enjoying. Let me see if I can find it. That white is looking so cool here. That's really giving that like Black Swan look. How cool is that? I'm really enjoying that. Let me see. The one from Colourpop that I really enjoy. Is it this one? I think it might be this one. Yeah, Charmer. It's like this really, you can see it's this color. It's this really cool, like, almost like aubergine, but like less purple. Like a really expensive wine. You know, the wine that you can't afford. Yeah, but that is really, really cool. I'm really enjoying that. And I might actually do a little bit more of that Velvet Bloom, just following the lash line just a little bit more in here. Because I think that's gonna help. Is this a little too dramatic for a Tuesday lunch sitting at home? I would argue no. I love playing with contrast and I love playing with different things. You know, sometimes you just want to play around and have a little bit of fun. I used to do like really like 2016, 17, 18 looks like this a lot, where I was really playing it up with the contrast, doing a lot of cut creases, and it was fun to do that again and to play around with it again. I kind of want to do almost something like this, but like less dramatic, something that is not as dramatic. That's something I need to, for me, that's something that I need to think about. How can I do a look like this, but not as dramatic? That's something that I will think about for me, because I love being able to have different types of looks in my arsenal. Not just doing the same look all the time, but it's also, you know, once you've gotten a look down, because I love this. I think it's super cool. I think it's super dramatic. It looks really sexy. It looks really fun. It looks intimidating. Listen, I want to look intimidating. I want to be like a man repeller. That's the look I'm going for. And I love being able to perfect the look and then be like, okay, so how do I adjust this look? How do I make it bolder or more timid? How do I make it everyday? How do I work with different colors and textures and stuff like that? So that's definitely something that I, for me, will be playing around with. But let me know what you think. I will say quality is beautiful, normal, good, unearthly quality. I think I prefer the other palette more, but that's because I love those kind of a tone, so nobody's really surprised. But you're gonna see a third look right now. Let's do something really bright and colorful with the Dancing Lights by GlossGods. This is their latest palette, and it is just so bright and fun. This is definitely not the first palette in my collection with this kind of a color story, and it's also not even the first palette in my collection that has like aurora lights as a theming, but this might be the brightest of them. This is really bright and fun, and I was thinking we'll do maybe a little purple going into blue, going into mint, like showing how you can utilize as many colors as possible. And I think we're gonna start with the dark purple and then blending them out, maybe even with both of these, we'll see. But I'll start with this one and then blending out this one, maybe that one, and then blue. And we'll do the mints, probably this one more on the lower lash line. We'll see. I haven't really decided how we're playing with this. And then we'll decide on the shimmers when we get there. This is the darkest one called Arctic Night, and I'm using a Singe EO10. When it comes to look like this, where you are using many colors from the palette, I kind of call this like just interpreting the theme of the palette, because the theme of the palette is mint, blues, purples, going into a slight almost pinky purple, and those are the kind of colors we're utilizing in this look. I am taking the theme of the palette into an eye look. And I'm only using this darkest color in the very outer corner like this. I might take it a little bit higher up here, but we're not going more dramatic than this with this color, because the only reason I'm starting with this color is because I want to make sure that this one is as dark as possible, true to pan. If you want a color to be true to pan, you put it directly on the primer. Don't set the primer and don't use anything other underneath. Then you're gonna get the color, if it's somewhat good quality, to be true to pan. And then you can blend out the edges with whatever lighter color or transition color you are hoping to use. But if you want a dark color to be as dark as possible, I would definitely suggest starting with that one. And since I know I want this look to be pretty dramatic, that's what I'm doing. That's not always the best choice of action. It all depends on the look you're doing and the result you're hoping for. But for this look, it's perfect. So this is the slightly more typical purple color. It's called Go North. And this is the one that's actually a dark purple. So this is the dark blue, this is the dark purple, and I'm basically putting this almost on top here. because it is not as dark as the other one, but I do want the look to look purple at the end. But this will sometimes, if you have a black, for example, and then you go over the black, over on top with a darkened red, it's gonna look even more dark. You can see here, it's turning into a really darkened purple, and that's gonna benefit the look that I'm trying to do. But I also didn't think the purple was deep enough on its own. But now that I'm putting the purple on top and a little bit on the edge, it is just giving, you can see it's leaning a little bit more purple. So this is the purple swirls, and I'm putting that on the edge because now we are turning this look even more an actual purple. So I'm putting that on the edge and I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. You can see it's leaning more purple now. And I'm not really swirling a lot because I don't want this look to end up all the way to the brow, especially not before we get into the lighter color. And I'm just pressing, not swiping, just pressing. I know all we want to do is blend and swipe, but sometimes it really doesn't help. It's just going to ruin the look. And now with very, very small, really pressing, you can see I'm pressing it into the skin. I'm doing very small swirly motions and just pressing because I want, again, the look to be dark. I don't want patchiness, and I also don't want it to spread too far up before we're ready. Now with gentle moves, I am gonna buff a little bit more on the edge and just soften it out ever so little more. This is where we're getting into the pink that's called Aurora. I'm using this on the fluffier brush, and we are just buffing a little bit on the edge to have that pink. We're gonna reapply some of the purple here, don't worry about that, but I'm thinking this is where we apply some of the pink, not in the inner part, just in the outer part to get that warmth crease. And we're only doing this to get a little bit of warmth to the crease because it's gonna make it even more impactful when we end with something that's really cool toned in the inner part. So now that I've added the pink, I'm gonna go back with the brush that I had the swirls, which was the lighter of the purples. And we are going back again and just buffing in between these to make this edge a little bit more believable again. So this is where we're at right now with the kind of purple going into a slight pink on the outer part. That's where we're going into the below freezing, which is the bright mid sky blue. Look at that color. Oh, something is itching. That could be cat fur. And we are gonna put that in the middle. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Are you kidding me? I love a color like this. That's so pretty. I love it. So I'm just gonna put this, I'm pressing it in. And I feel like I'm just gonna gently blend a little bit on the upper part to soften this up. Because I don't want to have the mint here, I just want to have the blue in the transition. That looks great. And now we are doing Bliss, which is the mint. And we're doing that next to it. Exact same thing. And now the last matte, it's called Illuminate, which is that really bright pastel-y mint. And we are putting that in the inner part and in the inner corner too. And I am gonna use the same colors on my lower lash line too. Oh, this is so cool. And I'm blending this mint a little bit here to soften up. Just up towards the brow here. That's looking really delicious. Eee, I'm so excited. Okay, let me do the same on the lower lash line and decide on some shimmers. That is so good. This shimmer right here will be perfect on the lid. We're gonna start basically in the middle and work our way to the inner part. Well, we'll add a little bit of this mint at the end to tie it in. But this one, I think you can see, it has a warm purple base going to a blue. So it will be the most perfect lid shade for this look because it will have those tones already in there. When you're working with duochromes or multichrome, this one is called Magic Moment, make sure that the ones that you're applying at least somewhat makes look with the base colors you put down for the mattes, or just skip the mattes if they don't, which is fine too. And let's put that, like I said, in the middle. And I am gonna buff it a little bit over the blue. As you can see, this is a little bit of a topper, so it will let whatever is underneath shine through, which is going to be perfect for blending into the dark blue. But you can see that the purple going to the blue, this is perfect. So I'm having some of the minty frostbite on here, and we are going to spray, spritz, spritz, and we are going to put that here in the inner part, just to like tie in a little bit with the mint. And I think I'm gonna do the same on the lower lash line. Just a little bit, and then go over again with the matte. You can see the difference here with putting some of it on, and I'm going in with the matte again and just blending on the edge, because when you put, usually when you put shimmers around a pastel, they have a tendency of lifting a little bit. So I'm just gonna reapply the matte around the shimmer so it doesn't look weird or patchy. It's just a trick if you are applying shimmers around a pastel. So the look is gonna be like this look right here. I even might do, let me spritz again, a little bit of this mint in on top of here. Yeah, that's looking real good. So this is the look before I put the lashes on. I think it is beautiful. Oh, and by the way, I think you saw I put 2 liners in my waterline. I mixed the dark blue and the light blue by Nabla. This is the Cupid arrow in Sky, and I think this one's just a number. Yeah, number 6. Number 6 and the one called Sky. That's what I have in my waterline. I just mixed them, put the dark one in the outer corner, but I love this look. I think it is so cool. I'm so excited. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that this look turned out so fun and cool and dramatic, and I needed an injection of color into my look today because I have a really, really long work day ahead of me, so I'm very excited to be wearing this. Please let me know how you feel about this look, and I am just very excited about this. I also think, because that's one thing that I've said, that I think GlossGods does really amazing like special like shimmers and stuff, but their mattes haven't always been my favorite, but I had absolutely no problem with the mattes whatsoever. They were very, very pigmented and creamy and blendable, and I think they look amazing. So maybe there has been a smidgen bit of an upgrade, because I thought that this palette is stellar, quite honestly. I mean, I've used quite a few of these shades and I've only done one look so far, of course, but I will say I'm very impressed with this. So let's get into the 4th look. So in my last look, I am going to be playing with the new release from Gourmande Girls. This is the Call of the Sirens and the Mermaid. Is it Mermaid? Mermaid Magic. So this is a blush and highlighter palette, and there is an eyeshadow palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an eye look, but we're going to start with the blush and highlighter because I want to put some of that on. I'm having a really slick back look today. Don't look at that, but yeah, I'm definitely did not have time to do literally anything with my hair today, so this is where we're at. I'm thinking, I mean, of course I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, what a nice color. But I think we're gonna mix these two. But I might have to do this one because I don't know if I'll have any luck putting this on. But I think we're gonna do this one. These two, I should say. So I don't have any blush or highlighter on right now. Ooh, that's actually really pretty. So I'm just mixing and I'm adding a little bit more of the lavender purple. Wait, that's really pretty. Look at that. That's so cute. And I was thinking a little extra blush since I have like a really like slick bun today. I really felt like some extra blush might be needed. Be playing with the palette. There is this like orange metallic in here. I mean, you've seen swatches, but I haven't swatched this palette. But I'm like, wait, we definitely need to play with that. And I'm thinking, ooh, I'm gonna put a little bit more here. Oh, that's really cute. Okay, should we do the highlighter now? Let me see. It's called Strand. Ooh, look at that. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's like almost like a green. That's not at all what I thought it was gonna be. Maybe I'll mix in a little bit of this like purpley blue. Oh yeah, can you see? There's almost like a little purple in there now. Okay, this was cute. We'll mix both of them in a little bit. And we'll work it into the cheek. Okay, that actually looks really good. We'll do the same on the other side. We'll start with that greenish gold. And then we'll go over, I'm using the purple blue in the middle, the lighter one. And we'll go over with that one. That's really cute. It's giving a little bit more of like a cool tone chic, which is what I was after. I'm very much enjoying that. So with this palette, I meant this one. It's called Bewitch. I really, really want to use that one. And I kind of want to use this one and this one. Because I feel like a lot of people will reach for the teals. And I kind of want to show like what could you do if you're not doing that. Honestly, should I just really go out of my comfort zone and start with the brown? Who even am I? This is the color Seahorse, and I am gonna start and just buff that a little bit in my crease. And I'm gonna use this as a transition color. Maybe this will be the tutorial where I show you how do you ground a look. If you have this like really colorful palette and there is one neutral in there, how do you make the most of that neutral if you want to do something colorful but you still want to ground it with some neutrals? That's what I'm going to tell you today, because this is what you do. You start with the neutral in the crease and you build it as a little bit of a transition. I'm gonna do the same on the other eye, and I'm also gonna use this under my eye, and then we'll go in with the purples and I'll show you how it looks together. So I brought out an EO2 and an EO5. Like, this is the mini blending brush and this is the smaller blending brush. And we're gonna start with the smaller one first, and we're gonna use this one that's called Unicorn. That has a little unicorn in it. Very cute. And we are gonna be doing that one. And I'm starting in the crease to build that purple, and then we're gonna deepen up with the darker one. And I'm putting this in the very crease to begin with. And you can see I'm kind of like a little bit more packing it on now. I'm not doing the more fluffy. I'm a little bit more like building it up, putting it in the crease, and really making sure the purple is visible. And then I'm a little bit more fluffier on the edge, blending it into that brown. But you can see we're doing something like that. Like, it's purple, but it's still like blended into that brown. And I'm not doing it all the way into the inner corner because I feel like that just closes everything like up. So I'm just keeping it 2/3. And then we're gently blending it into the brown. And we're going back to the brush we used with the brown. And we're just, without any further product, we're buffing on the edge, making sure that they're blended together. And that's how it looks. And you can see it's purple, but it's going into that neutral transition, and we're grounding the look. Okay, with a pencil brush, we're gonna do it on the lower lash line too, to keep the purple going all the way around the eye. So now with the even smaller brush, we are gonna use Femme, which is this like almost blackened purple at the bottom, and we are gonna do that in the outer corner. And we are gonna deepen up this part and a little bit more into the crease. I haven't really bothered with this part yet. You can see that that is like a little choppy, but we'll figure that out in a bit. Just putting some in the outer corner and blending it a little bit inwards and upwards, just to make it a little bit darker out here, but still keeping it purple. Not gonna make it too much, just trying to give some depth. Okay, so hear me out. We are gonna do this one in the middle, and we're gonna do that from the inner part all the way here, and I think I'm gonna use a little bit of this one just to blend the purple into the orange, because this one, the one that's called Bewitch, it is just very yellowy orange. I'm trying to pick it up on my brush. It picks up really good actually. And I am gonna spray it. Let me see. I'm still using this one from Glamlight. Okay. So let me just, oh my god, I spritzed myself. That, like, look at that contrast. Oh, that is so delicious. Okay, we are putting it in the inner part of the lid, in the middle, and then I think we're just gonna leave it like this, and we will follow up with that purpley one. And I am gonna brush it up a little bit here. You remember that area that I said we'll work on it later? This is me working on it later. I'm just brushing some of the shimmer into that. I think that that looks incredible. There is not a shade in here that is a light enough for me to have in my inner corner. This one is almost, but it is a little bit, maybe. Should we try that? You know what? Let's give that the good college try. I'm just gonna clean off that pencil brush. It is called Fairy. You know what? That might work actually, because it is pigmented enough. I wouldn't mind if this was lighter for me, for my skin tone, but I still feel like I get away with this because it is so pigmented. So it's still like providing that little pop. I actually do like how that looks. I think that is really cool. Okay, enough of that. Let's do the purple. So this one is called Lorelei, and we are gonna do that on the edge. You see where they meet? Here. Let's do a little bit more. And then, where is the brush that I had? Hello? Here is the small brush. And we're using some more of that dark purple, and we're just blending it on the edge. We don't want any fallout. And I think, there we go. And that's the look. Oh my, oh, look at that. Delicious. So I did mascara, and I'm waiting. I'm gonna put on a lash. I mean, this looks really, really good. I'm gonna do the pink pen from Nabla in my waterline. Let's not poke myself with that one, because I feel like that will really tie in with the pink in the inner corner. Like, right? That looks so good. I'm actually like really obsessed with this look. I think that this look is really incredible. And I also think, because this is something that I like to do, I like, this is not the palette, this is the blush palette. I like taking a palette and sometimes I'll do the color story of the palette, and sometimes I'll do the thing that you see the first, like the blue and the purple. But sometimes I like doing an unexpected combo, like the brown and the orange, and how do you incorporate those things that almost look like they're out of place? What can you do to get those to fit into a look? And I think I did a really great job, because I am absolutely loving this look. And the slick back bun, I still have questions about that one. There are doubts. That is the final look, and I gotta say, I am so excited, and I'm not even hating my slick bun. I put the big earrings on, and look at how great this top goes with this look. I'm feeling very, like, sexy. It feels a little sexy, doesn't it? I really like it. I really like this palette. I gotta say, I am very impressed. Is this my favorite? Is this my favorite? Out of all of the 4 palettes, I think I like the look from this one and the look from the Dancing Lights, the one from GlossGods. I think I like those looks the most. I also did really like the yellow and brown one from Unearthly. Where did I put them? Let me go get them. Here it is. It's called the Murky Meadow one. I think this is my favorite out of the 2, because you know I love a brown and a yellow color story, and I feel like this one is giving that in a little bit of a more almost neutral but still like grungy. I would have wished one of the shimmers would have been a yellow shimmer, but that's just a personal preference. I do think that this is a very grungy and approachable way to do the yellow with the browns. I really did enjoy this. The Shadow Petal, I did enjoy this palette. I enjoyed the quality of it. I think this color story is a color story that me personally, I would reach for less. Because I want, when I do looks like this, I do want them to have a little bit more of warmth, like this purple here, but that's a personal preference. If you're more into cool tone purples or more like cool tones, this isn't purples, this is more like burgundies. If you're into the kind of like almost burgundy mauves and you want them to lean a little cool tone and you like the contrast because this matte white was really nice, I do think that this could be a really good palette for you. It's just that the color story is not perfect for me. But this one is really beautiful. But I gotta say, this look, and I'm surprised at how good like the highlighters look too. I was thinking they were gonna be totally unwearable, but like this, that looks incredible. That looks really good. I am very, very excited about this one. I feel like Gourmande Girls, they went from good to great. The mattes have been incredible the past couple of palettes. I don't feel like any of them have been either less pigmented or more like densely packed. They've been really, really beautiful, and they are really like kicking it out of the park with their formula. So I am excited about this one. But yeah, I will link all the things down below. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to let me know which one is your favorite and to subscribe before you leave, because I will have a new video very soon.